Hi, my name is Fran more with the Prosperity Agenda, and welcome to Coaching Up Close, our mini webinar series designed to work some quick tips into your busy schedule to help you improve your coaching skills. But first, let me introduce TPA. We are working to end persistent poverty by changing the way that we think about, build programs for, and coach families under financial stress. Coaching is, of course, a big part of our DNA, and we work with organizations all over the country on their coaching programs. Before we jump in, if you're joining us live, we'll have a question and answer session at the end of the webinar, so save your questions. And as a note, please feel free to share this and past Coaching Up Close videos with your colleagues and others interested in incorporating coaching in their work with families. Please visit our website at www.theprosperityagenda.org to register for this webinar and other upcoming webinars, and also check out our YouTube and LinkedIn pages, and you can find us under the Prosperity Agenda. Now, let's get started. Today's session is about equitable financial education. I'd like to start with the obvious statement, okay? I'm going to start with something super obvious here, and that is to say, talking about money with someone is not an easy task. I know that is super obvious, right? But talking with someone about their money can be very, very hard, and it can be hard for many reasons. Maybe the participant is hesitant to discuss something so deeply personal with a coach when there isn't a trusting relationship that has been established. Or it could be even hard for a coach to discuss money issues with the participant because they don't feel that they know enough to support someone to their financial goals. There are a lot of reasons why we might avoid these conversations, but these conversations are paramount, particularly within human services. Financial education has traditionally overemphasized an individual's need to take personal responsibility and change behaviors without acknowledging how inequitable systems limit what choices are available. Poverty is, of course, not the result of an individual's bad choices solely. Poverty isn't an individual choice. It is a systematic problem. Systemic poverty refers to the economic exploitation of people who are poor through laws, policies, practices, and systems that perpetuate their impoverished status. Wage inequality, gender pay gaps, racial gaps in education, health insurance disparities, low wage jobs, job loss, inflation, and a lack of income protection, as well as racial inequality, all contribute to a system in which poverty is not just about an individual's choices, but it highlights the challenges of building financial security, let alone wealth and generational wealth. We often throw around words like building generational wealth or having a wealthy mindset without looking at the full picture in which most people have to operate in order to even get to a place where they can define what financial wellness means for them. I don't want to sound so doom and gloom, but it is important as practitioners for us to recognize that individuals play their role, of course, but current financial status is not evidence for evaluating intelligence, motivation, or likelihood for success. An equitable approach to conversations about money leverages a person's strengths, discovers and reinforces financial identity, and fosters a sense of financial control. To build that mindset, we must unpack the hidden language and judgments embedded in dominant mindsets about money. Our deeply held beliefs and attitudes affect financial learning, teaching, and interactions with clients and financial institutions. In order to achieve an equitable financial mindset, people need four things. So you all know I like to give you a list of things. So here are my four things that we're going to focus on today. Okay, as a practitioner interested in providing equitable financial education, you can support financial wellness by providing these four things to your participant. The first one is knowledge, right? That one is a little bit obvious. Knowledge is education, it's information, it's helping someone gain an understanding about finances, about money, how money systems work, savings accounts, etc. We know that there is no lack of financial literature around financial education, right? That's the number one way that we think in in traditional financial education pursuits that we can help folks is by giving them more information. So the first thing that folks need is knowledge. The second thing is scaffolded support as they apply the knowledge and the skills that they've learned. Of course, we've talked about this on many episodes of Coaching Up Close in the past, but coaches believe that every person is capable, creative, and resourceful. And with the right level of support, everyone can apply the skills necessary for financial success. Scaffolded support also requires that the practice is done in a non-judgmental and a strengths-based environment. So now that we have the knowledge, which is the base, we now have to support the person in the practice of the knowledge and skills. Well, as with anything, there's a great chance that maybe we might fail. Maybe it might not work out the way that we want to. And the fear of it not working out or us not reaching our goal is a bit intimidating. And it might cause some of our participants to not even join the race. And so with that said, we have to, as financial educators and as coaches, create the environment where there is trust, collaboration, and freedom from judgment, okay? Number two, there must be access to resources. As a coach, I coached for several years in place-based programs, in community-based programs, and in and around education, in and around schools. I've learned that access to resources is vitally important when you are helping someone on a path to financial wellness. This means access to products, services, and yes, even money. Okay. There have been many times as a coach where I was frustrated because I've given the knowledge, I've given the skills, and there were no resources that I could provide as a practitioner that could help my participant really get their hands dirty, if you will, and really try out these principles. And so there have to be access to resources. And this kind of goes back to the previous statement about an equitable approach to financial education isn't just looking at what the individual is responsible for, but it's also looking at the resources or the lack of resources that exists within a particular community, because that indeed is an issue of equity. The number four, a money mindset. Okay. Each person needs a particular money mindset. A money mindset is the belief that they are good with money rather than the belief that they aren't good with money, which is why they don't have any money. Anybody ever had that fear go on in your brain? I know I did, especially in college. Well, I don't have any money because I'm not good with money. And so it's those type of beliefs, those type of limiting beliefs around money that as an equitable financial educator, we want to begin to dispel that. We want to help them work through those negative beliefs, those negative mindsets. And so there are three things that make up a money mindset, and I like to quickly share those with you. The first thing that we can do to support a money mindset is to inspire. This means to support the participant in creating a vision of financial wellness and to connect their values and goals with their financial decisions, right? So I have this value, I have this goal. Now, how does that match to the decisions I'm making with my money? This is all about inspiring them toward action. The second thing is identify. This is where we support participants in recognizing their beliefs and values about money and notice how society influences their relationship with money. Okay. And so maybe, again, going back to who I was as a college student, my identity around money was that whenever my friends said, hey, we're going to go over to Wendy's and get something off of the dollar menu, even if I only had $5, I was going to make the decision that I should do that, because society also plays a role in how we use our money. In my particular culture, food and enjoying food and fellowship is a big, big deal. And so that is how I identify my money. That is how I make decisions about what I would do with my money. And until we are able to help participants identify what influences their decisions about how they move around money and what they do with their money, we're kind of stuck in a stalemate there. The third and final thing is intention. This is where coaches support participants as they plan and take action on their goals and learn from their experiences. Again, this is all about creating the environment that makes change possible. Not only are we helping them make a plan, but we're supporting them as they take action. Notice I said action. Notice I didn't say that they got it right out of the gate. This means that we expect that there may be a fumble along the way, that maybe there might be a misstep. Maybe, things might fall apart even as they're acting out their plan, but we create environments of non-judgmental and collaborative, trusting relationships as we're working with people toward their financial goals. I often tell a story about a participant that I worked with when I was coaching, that we had worked for months to get her out of the cycle of payday loans. And we had done a great job, and we high-fived and everything went great. And after about a couple of months, she came back to me and she said, I've been avoiding you because I went and I got another payday loan and I found myself back in that cycle again. Well, after some conversation, after I kind of recentered myself and got myself in the right mindset, we had a conversation where I asked powerful questions. And the powerful questions helped me to understand that she went to go get another payday loan because her son's birthday was coming up. And for her, that was an extremely important moment of celebration. And because of that value, she decided that, hey, I'm going to go get another payday loan. I could have been angry. I could have been upset. I could have even shamed her by my words or my inaction. But it's not so much important that she knows that wasn't a great decision as it is for me as the coach and the person who is supporting her, for me to understand her values so that when we make plans for the future, we can accommodate those values as we go along. That is an equitable approach to money. Okay, that's an equitable approach to financial wellness. The personal responsibility approach to financial education is inequitable because it centers everything on what the participant is either doing right or what they are doing wrong. Because this approach is not strengths-based, it rarely has the impact that is long-term and sustainable. An equitable approach to financial education recognizes the systems of poverty that limits a person's options and reflects the unique personal identity and culture of the participant to define what financial wellness is for them. Well, that's it for today. Thank you for watching. Join us next month for more coaching tips and resources, and be sure to stick around for a question and answer portion. And of course, if you have any questions about our coaching training programs, or if you'd like to sign up for the next Coaching Up Close mini webinar, please visit us at theprosperityagenda.org and check out our LinkedIn page. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you on the next one. Bye. All right. I'm going to go ahead and open it up for questions. I'm also going to share a link in the chat box. This is a link to some free resources that we have on our website. We have a product called the Money Mindset Cards. These are 30 cards that will help spark conversation with your participants around their money mindset. They're not financial literacy cards or anything like that. They're just conversation starters. They're conversation starters to support you as you're helping to do those three things that we talked about in the chat, right? We're talking about inspiring, we're talking about identifying, and we're talking about intention around money and financial wellness. So that link is there for you in the chat box. Oh, wait, it looks like I only did hosts and panelists. Let me do everyone. There we go. Now it's in the chat box for everyone. I'd love to take a few questions. If anyone has any questions or comments, if anyone has anything they'd like to share from their own experience, I know that we have a wealth of experience present with us today. So if there's anything you'd like to share, feel free to use the chat box and share that out loud, and I'll read it and we can see what happens. Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Thank you. I'm not going to hold you. Have a great rest of your day and the rest of your week. We'll see you next month. Bye, everyone.